over the last 2 days, we've been chronicling the story of 1949. From his beginnings as the lead of Disheartened Games, all the way to exposing Abyssal and everything in between. Now, if you haven't watched those videos, then I would suggest going back and watching them, but in those videos, I called this, repeatedly, the most disturbing case I've ever covered, and today's video is where I look to deliver on that promise. I'm not kidding when I say this case is messed up, as just for example of what to expect going into this video contains mentions of pedophilia, grooming, CP, bestiality, revenge porn, and I can go on, but I think you get the point. If any of that sounds like too much for you, then I understand if you click off, but if you're used to seeing disturbing things, then sit back, grab a snack, and join me, Detective Savage, as I look to finally wrap this case up once and for all. Every story needs an encore, and today, I'll look to deliver on it, as today, we dive into the downward spiral of 949. Okay, so last time we left off at December 2022, as that was when Abyssal changed his online identity to 949. But that leaves the question, why did he change his name? Well, the answer would be Abyssal. You see, Abyssal is basically the physical embodiment of wrath among the DDLC, which is quite impressive when you have Rose as your competition. As a result, he wasn't going to go down without a fight. Just before Abyssal would become 949, Abyssal would pull off one of the craziest stunts I've ever freaking heard. Under an alt, Abyssal was able to convince Abyssal to hand him his authenticator key. So, Abyssal just handed over his entire Discord, including uncensored Discord DMs, to his #1 enemy, and someone who wants to see him suffer. Looks like Christmas came early for our favorite musician. Abyssal would use this opportunity to save every single DM combo to use it as blackmail and to intimidate Abyssal into submission. With his Discord now completely compromised, Abyssal was forced to create a new one. But the question still remains as to why he felt the need to change his identity entirely. What was in those DMs that Abyssal now has that had him so scared that he felt the only choice he had was to abandon the Abyssal moniker entirely? Well, this leads us back to where the investigation ultimately began. February 25th, 2023. Abyssal reaches out to me to essentially hire me as an online hitman to assassinate Abyssal's reputation. I would take on this case not to flog Abyssal publicly, but just to see where this rabbit hole would ultimately go. And in order to do that, I would have to leave no stone unturned, which means that I would have to talk to Now, after talking to I wouldn't come away with anything that I didn't already know. That being, she hates Abyssal and co, and is absolutely in love with Abyssal, which is quite disturbing to think about, that this 22-year-old man has this 17-year-old girl wrapped around his finger after all of this time. At the end of our exchange, would ask for Abyssal Discord ID. I would oblige, but little did I know at the time that that would be the best decision I had ever made in my entire career. She would reach out to Abyssal shortly after, and he would shortly after that message me about it. I would reveal that in fact I did in fact tell her his Discord. It was during this convo that he would brag about having Abyssal's DMs and that he would be willing to share them with me. I would ask him to send them all to me, but he would shoot this down instantly, instead choosing to just send a few of them, some worthwhile and others completely useless. He would then tell me that if I wanted more, that I would have to send him the entire convo between me and I would oblige, and in this DM dump, I would finally realize exactly why Abyssal was so terrified of having his DMs in the hands of Abyssal. I've been putting off this moment for a long time now, as you can probably tell, because this next part of the video is where all those warnings apply. There were a bunch of DMs that I was sent, probably up to a dozen of them, but there were 2 of them that stood out to me the most. The first is between Abyssal and a now deleted user, in which the topic of discussion primarily was bestiality.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all?
And every single time I scrolled further and further and further, it just got worse. Somehow, it just continued getting worse. Now, obviously, I can't show any of that, for obvious reasons. But if I had to describe it, it was like Mr. Hands, but reversed. Although Abyssal wasn't partaking in the reverse Mr. Hands, but you get what I'm getting at here, right? I hope you get what I'm getting at, and if not, God bless your soul. But somehow a pedophile discussing the art of fucking horses is somehow not the worst thing I saw in that. No, that would go to the second set of DMs I got. A set of DMs involving Abyssal and a 19-year-old trans woman, which can only be described as an exact caricature of what Valid L's on Twitter thinks trans people are. I think you know where I'm going with this. Yes, the second set of DMs was between Abyssal and his groomer. Oh, trust me, the irony is not lost in this at all. These messages contain some of the most vile and disgusting shit I've ever seen, and that is coming from me, of all people. And I'm someone that's been pretty desensitized to pretty much everything at this point. Like, I've seen the Ronnie McNutt video a dozen times. It doesn't faze me at this point. But when I saw these messages, I genuinely thought nothing could get to me. This shook me. And it wasn't because of the sexual content. It was the level of depravity of it. And the fact, just how much of a willing participant Abyssal was in all of it. That's what got to me. After seeing all of this, I would be faced with one of the most difficult decisions I could ever make. Do I flog Abyssal publicly and just try to ruin his reputation forever? Or do I give him a second chance? On one hand, he's 15 and a victim of grooming. On the other hand, I saw those messages, and I know what y'all now know. That's where I was at. I would ponder what to do for the next week, but as fate would have it, Abyssal would help make the choice for me. A few days after I got the DMs, Abyssal would out of nowhere drop this whole ass confession in some DDLC server. It doesn't really matter and I really don't care. Read it. Hi everyone, I'm here to say that I'm sorry. I've done something that I cannot be forgiven for. Me and my friends started something for a reason that wasn't even worth it. We created the Caleb case document in order to expose Logixel Shift as a scumbag, but the truth is, we purposely hid, lied, and misled everyone. We fabricated and twisted information within that document to avoid telling the world that we ourselves had greater involvement in it than stated. We made the document not to get justice for, but to expose her as well. We hated her and preferred that she was buried alongside Logixel. Since then, I sided with troll YouTuber Savage Sentral. I mean, I guess that's one way to put it. Moving on. In order to make Legixel's life worse by spreading more false information to him. I even watched and allowed his community to go after people I called friends just because they sided with Legixel. I became a snake and burned bridges with everyone who trusted me. Now, this isn't how I envisioned any of this unfolding, but it was a welcome surprise, as it was finally nice to be handed a layup for once. Fast forwarding to April 10th, he would reach out to me in an attempt to atone for his sins or something. This was where he would reveal that him and JP were involved in the doc, as well as his intentions with the Caleb case, as I pointed out in part 2. But this act of repentance wouldn't be enough for me to come to a decision on how to handle this yet. On May 18th, Abyssal would drop one of the biggest bombshells that I never could have predicted happening in a million years. He would go on to tell me that he had been banned from the DDMC. Apparently, Headlocker, along with the mod team, got a hold of the messages somehow, the DMs, and they promptly banned him. Why did 949 leave? Banned. Some fairly concerning messages involving an RP were brought to staff. If you're wondering if they can appeal it, I don't know. Don't have the answer for that. Skull emoji. RP? I genuinely hope that fairly concerning messages, it isn't anything illegal. From the information that was brought to us, it's not exactly definitive, but like mentioned, the messages were indeed quite concerning. Not definitive? I'm guessing he means that it's not clear if it was a serious thing or it had to do with the RP. Be very hesitant to say it was legal. We don't just ban without good reason. Put it that way. Was it in this server or private? I'm just confused. We'll say it happened a while ago, so he was past it and matured, but still needed to look into it. Outside of the server. Kind of funny this was brought up, since another server I'm in just had a role player join and introduce herself. I'm pretty sure there's no ambiguity to what happened. Alright. If it's some fuck shit, then yeah, I guess it is what it is, but if it happened a while ago in another server, it just seems a little odd to be banning now, not gonna lie. How long ago, though? It was a year ago, by the way, Silver. It was a year ago. Depends on the situation, though. 100%. Only just found out recently. But I've never been one to support bans transcending servers unless it's some actual fuck shit. But how long ago? Can't give that many details, but a decent amount ago. I'm not gonna tell you anything. Fuck you. If it was only brought to our attention recently, but the content was concerning enough to still take action regardless. When exactly they got sent, whether it was the whole ass DM conversations or just certain screenshots, nobody knows except them. But it really doesn't matter anyway, since Luna Snake Ass wants to go tell a server full of unhinged maniacs that... But yeah, can't say much more on it. Willing to be transparent to say something happened, but don't want it to turn into the community trying to judge the actions of 949 themselves. Essentially making him out to be some complete degenerate whose actions were so bad and heinous that he deserved to be outright banned out of nowhere without any due process whatsoever. Even in a video that has absolutely nothing to do with the DDMC mod staff, they can't help but just to keep on taking L's. Hey, don't worry, Wise. I'll make sure to mail this L directly to your house, so that way you can hang it up on your wall alongside all the other L's you've taken.
We gotta go back to the day where there are no egos and there are no drama. You know who are the fucking bastards who said there are no egos and no drama? The same bastards who made the leaning on the bridges, who made the lemon mod, who made the CBG bedroom. These are the same bastards who made all these projects. And you're gonna sit here and fucking quote the things that they said.
No one has actually come forth as being the ones responsible for snitching to the mods. And if you're even wondering why I was talking about the DMs at all in this video, well, this is why. So Abyssal's reputation among the mentally ill has been completely destroyed. That doesn't mean he still can't make music for mods, right? 5 days later, on May 23rd, yet another unexpected twist would take place. Legixel would take to my DMs and say this. Here's the thing. You're a special kind of character. You'll ruin someone that doesn't want any trouble, but someone that comes after you personally, crosses so many people, you'll stop and have tact. Since you've done me the pleasure of actually listening, you'll get these first. 24 hours, and it goes everywhere. I appreciate the damage you've done to him, but I never needed you to ruin him, when I could have always done it myself. Caleb had woken up that day and just decided that enough was enough and each was choosing violence. And at the same time he was saying this to me, he was messaging Abyssal saying this. Wasn't sent by me, I can tell you. Probably one of Savage's goons. Possibly. Do you know what's coming? Elaborate. What Savage has planned for you. I know, but I'm asking if you do since you're friended on Discord. He's making a video on my history apparently. 3 of them. And he isn't holding back. He's already gone to Shadow and Rabbit. Ben. The mistake he made with my video, he definitely isn't making with you. He's being thorough. He said he wouldn't mention the pedo shit. You trust him? Show me evidence, please. I don't have evidence he won't do it. I'm asking, do you trust him to keep his word? I don't know who to trust anymore. He said he doesn't want to ruin my life. Yet he tried to ruin mine for doing arguably less.
I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon?
What he's been told, even by I have knowledge of everything he knows. You need to prepare. And I'm sorry, mate, but there's really not much you can do. One thing I'll point out is he's looking for evidence for rumors if you and I had a thing. It's impossible to find in the first place. Messages were all erased. Exactly. Even if you lied, evidence no longer exists, but he's not holding back. You might not believe it, but I never wanted your life ruined. I wanted to teach you a lesson and I achieved that. Savage doesn't have tact. I'm a fucking kid. I don't fucking need this shit. Not going to be rude, but you should have thought of that before. This shit started with you, and now you're paying the price. Your life in the DDMC is done for. And even if I tried, there's no stopping what's going to happen. I could have made this a lot worse for you, but I didn't. I know fully well how much of hypercrites you are. Heck, all of you talk to now, which is too ironic. I wish things weren't the way they were, but none of us can change the past. Your future in the DDMC is pretty much toast. Your music career is 949, even without your website not being up anymore. I don't know what you're gonna do. Fuck off. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of this battle. I'm tired of everything. Fuck off for good. I was going to give you one last chance, but instead, you gave me one less reason to care, and holding back is no longer necessary. You brought this on yourself. Goodbye. Abyssal at the same time would start coping to me in the DMs, saying this. Savage, what the fuck? Savage, what the fuck, dude? I don't trust him, but fuck. Savage, I'm really worried right now. I believe you more than him, but please reassure me. You there? I've calmed down, but I'm freaking out right now. Fuck, I could have worked for 5 hours and everything goes to shit. I'm reading over the messages right now. Thank you. I've never been more paranoid. Okay, Caleb messaged me on Reddit this morning. I saw that. Then he messaged me on Discord about how you were planning to fucking ruin me. 3 videos, all the screenshots, everything. The 3 videos ideal was to boost viewership. True. But the plan is to be as objective as possible and present the facts as they are. And the facts state that you shouldn't have your life ruined over this. Holy fucking shit. And I do have to ask, how long are these videos, especially if there's 3 of them? Caleb is about to completely ruin you. What? What? This. He's leaking that in 24 hours. It's all your DMs. Stop. Fucking stop. Fuck. Please. What the fuck? Why? It's actually real. Oh my god. Hey Savage, what part of the pedo are you mentioning? Like his name and stuff? Or I was just gonna mention that it happened, not really go into detail about it. Alright. I'm still here if you need more questions. That RAR file I sent was sent to me by Caleb, and it contained almost every single DM that Abyssal had up until he changed his name to 949. This is what Caleb planned to release everywhere. The convo would pick back up a few hours later between him and Legixel, and with yet even more insanity. Alright, I'm sorry, I was mad. I'm sorry. Please, it was fucking impulsive, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude, I was just scared and mad. You wanna know when I'll stop, cunt? I know what's happening. I know, please, I'll fucking leave. I wanted to give you a fucking chance. I didn't mean to be rude. One last time. I didn't. And you had to fucking fuck that up. Caleb, I was mad, please. You're a dumbass, I swear. Caleb, I didn't mean to. I never needed Savage Sentral to do his video to ruin you. I could have always done that myself. I always had the means to. You turned on me. For what started with me telling your pathetic friend off because you two were gonna ditch for talking to and surprise, surprise, you're all talking to her again. So it was just me in the gutter. Just because I wanted to move on and be happy. You had to take that from me. I don't care if you leave. Caleb, I can't take back what I did, but please, I'm 16 years old, just trying to make music. I'm sorry I fucked up what we had, but please don't destroy me like this. I don't care if you apologize to everyone you crossed. You were right. I always will be Legixel. And you should have never forgotten one fucking thing I always told you. Never cross me. I will take from you exactly what you took from me. That I can promise you. Caleb, I'm fucking sobbing right now. I just want this to be over, please, for the love of God. How do you think I fucking felt, you little shit? What was it you said to me again? Oh, that's right. Enjoy the lack of sunshine. Caleb would eventually decide not to release Abyssal's DMs under one condition. That being Abyssal and Co. creating a group chat between them and Caleb, so that way he can cope some more. And cope he did. This is how that convo went.
Everyone's asleep. Hang on. Fine for now. Despair will have to do for now. I'll personally DM him on a later date. You lot were so angry that I just told him to pull his fucking head in. And he went to try to kill himself. Well, you can trust and believe that I will say a lot worse to all of you. Greetings! It's been a while. Yes it has. I think the last time we were in a group chat like this, was trying to confess to that he liked. Who remembers how that went? I'm sure we all do. Yeah, funny how that works. They ditched you. Or were going to at least. So angry that you could possibly share feelings towards someone who wasted your feelings away and hurt you all. Tried to get people to bash you at school. And to hear that the lot of you were talking to her even now. Even friended her recently. How fucking ironic is that? Extremely. But really, I don't care. This isn't just about that. You want to come at me about many things. One being the Caleb case file, I presume. All of it. Well, I'll start with that. But it all starts at this point, right? The Caleb case file. I never wanted part in it. You guys despised me because I told off. I don't give a shit. Screenshots I gave to you ended up in that file. You had to twist so much just to make me out as a predator. Because I wouldn't stop getting bothered. Blame me for that. I practically forced him. Doesn't matter. If you all wanted to be done with me, you had so many other ways to do it. I wanted to apologize to I wanted to try to fix things, be better. You guys' response was fucking destroying my online life? I had to tell about because of that shit. Because you posted my fucking face, my name! You know what? Who's busy right now? I want a VC like old times. I left you be, yes. I fucked up originally with the send-off I gave, but aside from that, I wanted to let you live your life. I never wanted part. I was forced into it. 949, Cursed Ash, who's available?
It's 1 a.m. I can't make a peep.
Sad. Fine, I won't. I just thought you'd like to hear how pissed off I am. I loved you guys. 949, I treated you like a brother. And just because I pissed off your pathetic, spiteful, and idiotic mate, who turned on both of you more than once, you took the worst fucking direction to take to get rid of me. They did. I was done. Did you stop them? No, because I personally didn't care. I just didn't want to be a part of it. Do you think for a second that Caleb might never let this go? Never forgive? And that's what you've always been, mate. Too shit scared to face anything, to face me. To fucking once think your best friend could be wrong. Why would I bother? I don't like destroying others' reputation. No one's rep had to be destroyed. How could forced you? Ask you a few times? Say that it's needed? You just giving a fuck about me? He didn't leave me alone. Oh, fuck. That's so bad. Constant reminders. Constant messages. Did you forget Discord had a mute function? You fucking moron! Basically the equivalent of a siren going off 24/7, right in your ear. Self-respect? Jesus. It wasn't just Discord, buddy. Does it matter? You could have done better. Said no. Then maybe Caleb was a cunt. I did. But he didn't deserve this. I said no. So many times. But in the end you did, which makes you guilty. Didn't care as always. Little shit had my face as his profile picture. Yeah, and I called him an idiot for that. What was so wrong with me, huh? I was outspoken. Didn't care what people thought. Stuck to my gut about being toxic. Or that I had a month-long fling with that didn't lead to shit. Something I moved on from. The fuck? And it takes me blackmailing for you to finally say sorry? Do you have any idea how fucked that felt? Did I say sorry? Look. No! You didn't actually. I didn't care. I still don't. Because in the end, you don't care about me. I was your friend. I did. But not anymore. And that hurt. So fuck you.
This exchange would show the sheer insanity of Legixel, and no matter how much messed up shit Abyssal did, it doesn't compare to a 22-year-old Australian man harassing a bunch of American teenagers on the internet for exposing him for grooming someone. So, I know that this decision is going to piss people off, but frankly, fuck it, I don't care. I choose option B. I'm sorry we had to meet this way, but I'm afraid you've been misinformed. Abyssal, I'm sorry to inform you, but you will not be getting off easy this time. The original plan was to focus on Caleb and criticize him for all he's done, while just telling you, Abyssal, to move on and to quote, sin no more. But that ain't gonna happen. With me giving you this out, I gave you a stipulation. A stipulation that stated that as long as I didn't have to hear or see your name in any more drama, then I wouldn't reveal to the world the things you said in those DMs. I never expected you to hold up your end of the deal, but I didn't expect you to break our deal before I was even done with this video. Even when I had your entire career in my hands, you just couldn't help but be yourself, a snake. And the only way to kill a snake is to chop off its head. So do you, watching this. Here's what I plan to keep hidden from you. I'm sorry for leading you astray, but in the end my plan worked out better than I could have ever imagined. Disabled Gaming, Abyssal Knight, 949, and now Scintillation. You've shown repeatedly that you have zero loyalty to anyone, not even your own friends. You've shown that you don't have a single genuine thought in your body and will say and do anything to gain the respect of those around you, even if that means screwing over your already established comrades. Your insatiable lust for validation and material wealth has corrupted you to the point of no return. You proved to me that you'll say and do whatever it takes to save your own ass, and for that, there's no longer any reason to spare you. Your time in the DDMC is up. 949 will fade into the background and be just another footnote in the long-stained history of this godforsaken community. You will eventually be lost to time, just like many others before you, with the only thing you'll be remembered as is the musician who loved horses a little too much and expressed desires to do unspeakable acts to his own future children. The clock has officially struck midnight for you, Abyssal. Your luck has officially ran out, and the wool has been lifted from everyone, as they can now finally see the real Disabled Gaming, the real Abyssal Knight, the real 949, the real Scintillation. It's about time you move on to some other community to rob blind. Which community that is, I don't know. As for you, Legixel, well, you got your Abyssal expose as promised. Abyssal's career as he knows it is in complete shambles. But something tells me that this isn't what you really wanted. Regardless of what your true desires are, our transaction is complete. Abyssal can join the both of us in the shadow realm of the DDMC, being completely exiled from there. With the both of y'all, this is where your story ends. But my song will never die. For as long as the DDMC keeps the idea of Savage Sentral alive, my story will never end. The sins that happened here will be forgotten by many. May the truth of what was contained in those DMs be forever sealed away, as some things are best left forgotten. The both of y'all give truth to the phrase, justice is blind, for neither of y'all will face true justice for the actions you've committed. And to you, Abyssal, I wish I was sorry, but sadly, I'm not, and I never will be. The story that spans 7 videos and over a year ends here. But when one story ends, another begins. So see you on the other side. And don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. In communication.
My hair's a mess, I'm fucking cold, and I'm a Radiohead fan.